little more than a children's educational film about gambling. Jamie?
Yeah.
Let's go watch All Dogs Go to Heaven.
And welcome to another episode of Good Times, Great Movies. If you are here joining us, then you know we are an 80s podcast. Well, we're not a podcast from the 80s. They didn't have them then. We're a podcast about the 80s, specifically movies about the 80s. I am one of your hosts. I am Jamie Lorello, and the other guy here is a DP McCambridge.
I am here with wings that I can pull off of my own back.
Do you have a clock that keeps your time for life?
I like that heaven appeared to be a bunch of clocks, and he goes, "What is this, a watch room?" And I was like, "There's no watches. It's all just clocks."
Well, watch, clock, it's all the same to
I
a dog.
understand that they're time-telling devices, but there was a single watch and 4,000 clocks, and he just referred to it as a watch room.
Now you're just getting into semantics.
Okay.
Wouldn't you love to have a sassy alligator friend, though? That recognizes your singing voice?
I think I would, based on how that turns out.
Yeah.
That's a weird part of the movie. Because it seems to come out of nowhere and also serve no purpose except that the alligator can come back at the end for 2 seconds.
Serve no purpose.
Because he sings with the alligator and then they just float away. And I was like, did that just happen?
Yes,
there were so many parts of this movie where I wasn't sure if it was a dream or not, because when they...
Your own dream?
No. I assumed I was hallucinating. No, when they fall down that shaft before they meet the alligator, and then they start floating away, and then I guess it's revealed that they're being carried around by quote-unquote native rats? I don't...
Yeah, things got really... Things get a little crazy, and then they're going to be sacrificed of some kind.
Yes.
Things get bad in the underground.
Right.
Yeah.
There's
It's a seedy time.
And there are certain scenes, well, I mean, we'll go through this as we do every movie, but there are certain scenes that back up to other scenes where I feel like there's stuff missing.
Okay. Like?
When she goes from eating waffles to almost getting shot by a laser gun, I was like, whoa, how did they, when did they leave
Why did they
house?
have a laser gun?
Why?
She left the house. You didn't remember? Because he comes for her.
But you don't watch her leave the house. He comes for her and he's like,
she jumps out the window.
Oh,
she follows him out the window.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah, she just leaves out the window, which is really like abrupt.
I must have been writing notes or something at that point.
It happens quick because
Okay.
he is by the window and kind of like talks to her and then makes her feel bad. And she just gets up and leaves those waffles in those nice.
I love this
nice
family,
couple.
how they're like, I don't think this girl's at home. What should we do? And at no point does let's call the police come up. He's like, I don't know. She can stay in our guest room, I guess. Like,
yeah, exactly. Well, they have an amazing guest room. It's like they were waiting for someone to come stay.
Yeah, it's got like a crazy canopy bed. Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful bay window.
It's a very... It ends abruptly.
Abruptly,
It
I
ends
agree.
Quite abruptly. And
It's a wild ride. It's a wild ride.
It's a wild ride, but I
Yeah.
sat down and I was like, okay, an hour 25. And when we were at the hour 16 mark, I was like, okay, well, I guess they're going to wrap this up in about 5 minutes. I didn't know there were like 5 minutes of credits, and it was over at an hour 18. It really just ended so quickly.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I wanted more, but I could have, I don't know.
You
we'll
needed
talk
more
about
Anne
this.
Marie. You needed to know what happened with her and maybe how Itchy turned his life around a little bit and became a loving home dog and shooed away crime and
Shooed away
Shooed
crime?
away. Shooed it away.
Okay,
Shoo. He
okay.
doesn't want to see the crime.
He shooed away his life of crime.
Yes.
Okay.
Shoo, life of crime. Shoo.
Got it. Mind over crime, I guess. You wish yourself out of that life.
Yeah, he didn't want to be in it anyway. He was trying to convince Charlie for the longest time to just give the life up.
Through the
Charlie
whole
wanted no part of
movie.
it. Mm-hmm.
No, he is rotten to the core. He is a criminal to pretty much the end. I mean, pretty much the end of this. When he dies and the dog is like, "Oh, all dogs are good." Like, we have seen no good dogs. We like apparently you're not paying attention to what's going on down there on Earth.
Well, these are dogs of the bayou. They're Louisiana dogs. It is, what did we say? What does it say? It's 1939, I think, in the movie.
I didn't see a year. I would not have known that it took place in the past because there's no... I mean, I guess other than the vintage cars that are all... Why do dogs live in cars? Why are cars such a big part of this movie? Itchy even appears to have an actual home, but it's decorated with car parts.
Well, and
they built a casino just out of stacking cars on top of each other.
That's where they, I guess, find that, because lots of times, like stray dogs are found over at the auto shop or something. You know how usually there's
so you go get your oil changed and there's just a bunch of dogs there? Or do you mean like junkyard dogs?
Yes, like a junkyard dog. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not an oil change. Not a Valvoline dog.
Okay.
So go ahead, sorry.
No, for a long time I wasn't even sure if humans inhabited this world either. It's over a half hour until we meet a human, a little girl, and it's still another 10 plus minutes after that before we see that there are other people. I thought this was like a dog world. You know what I mean? How sometimes in Disney movies or something, or like a Zootopia thing, like I just thought this was dogs.
Yeah, these were just the dogs.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the poster, so I knew there was a little girl. And I was about 20 minutes into this, and I was like, isn't this about a little girl? Because there's nothing. This is a crime movie about dogs.
It is. It's like a mafia movie with dogs in it. Yeah, we
Well, let's get into it. Anyway, This is a Don Bluth film, and you may have forgotten that we had a little taste of Don Bluth in this podcast during the Xanadu animated sequence.
That's right.
That was a Don Bluth animation.
That was a little flirt of Bluth.
Yeah, and I had never seen this. This is your birthday pick.
That's
I had
correct.
never seen this movie. I knew about it. I had heard of it. I'd seen the VHS box. I'm more familiar with his other work like The Land Before Time and American Tail.
Another great one. Two other
and
great
The
ones.
Secrets of Nim. And then he did a bunch of other stuff that I like. Rockadoodle? I don't know.
You don't know the Rockadoodle?
I think we were too old for that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not as sad as when I mentioned that this was going to be my pick. I had mentioned that I recently had my dog pass, and so I watched it with my husband who had never seen it before, and he was like, "Are we going to be sad about this movie?" He said, "Are we going to?" I'm like, "No, I don't think so. I think it's more fun." I
asked you the same thing at the end of the last podcast.
Yeah.
I was like, "Are you going to make me cry by watching an animated dead dog movie?"
No, it's not that kind of. No.
There are elements of this that are disturbing and dark.
But not sad.
Not sad, no.
Well, it's kind of sad, the little orphan's life.
Right, and by disturbing and dark, I mean that's also mixed with confusing.
Yeah, yeah, and creepy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, it's All Dogs Go to Heaven from '89. This is a star-studded affair. Why is Burt Reynolds singing? Why is he singing in this movie?
Is he singing or is he just talking?
Well,
he's really not singing. You can't keep a good dog down.
He's singing as much as, who was it, Jeff Bridges in the Last Unicorn? Yeah, he's doing his best Jeff Bridges, but even lazier than Jeff Bridges singing.
Oh, yeah.
There's a reason. When I was listening to this, and also when the little girl starts singing, that is someone else.
Oh, completely. And I don't think we needed that.
No, we didn't need it, but it was one of those things where I went, if they did this, why didn't they just bring it?
Do that
there's a reason why in those old Disney movies before they had celebrities do the voices, and there's a reason why the woman that did Belle's voice is not the one who sang as Belle, because voice acting is one thing, singing is another, and it's just he has so many songs.
He does. He does. It's very song heavy. Yeah.
So many times in this.
Yeah.
And it's just like, just cut it out. This doesn't even need to be a musical either.
Oh, but it's kind of fun that it's a musical. You didn't think? Sometimes.
I mean,
It doesn't have to be. It definitely didn't, like,
No, it
it didn't
didn't.
have to be, but sometimes it's awkward. But sometimes you're... Go ahead.
the only reason I'm saying that it doesn't have to be, or maybe it shouldn't be, is none of the
For him?
songs to me, right, for him, none of the songs were really that memorable because they were all very short. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
That alligator sang for 37 seconds and
Yeah.
that was over. But I think other than the pizza song, I don't remember any song in this movie, and I just watched it yesterday. Like, I'm sure going through my notes, I will be reminded of ones, but
Sure.
what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine, where he tries
Yeah.
to teach puppies how to eat pizza. Other than that, I don't remember a
And he
single
really does
song.
speak it. What's mine is there's
Yes.
no... Yeah, yeah.
I assume there's a
but-
lot of, do I really have to do this? That was cut out of the middle of that song.
I don't know. Do you think Burt Reynolds, like, enjoyed the hell out of this? Do you think it was, like...
I don't know.
I think
Just,
this
I mean,
was...
especially in the aftermath of, I guess, his life, just hearing all the stories about him, I don't know that he had much fun doing much.
doing... Okay, fair enough.
Right. Anyway, Lonnie Anderson's in this. And,
She is?
Charles Nelson Riley's in this? Is that nerd dog?
Yes, what's his name? Oh, he's got a funny name. It's like Killer. I think his name is
okay.
Killer, but he is the
it's
nerd
a
dog.
weird looking dog. I mean, and I call him a nerd dog because he has glasses.
Yeah.
But he also has a spiked collar.
Yeah.
And who else is in this? Dom DeLuise
Dom DeLuise, he's itchy.
plays Itchy. Probably doing the best work, I think.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, he's given it his all, and he's
He was excited.
a
about
relatively
the-
talented voice actor, so it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, and we'll get into other people as we meet them, I guess. So we open, now that we're 20 minutes into this podcast, let's talk about this movie. So we open, boy. All right, I'm going
At
to
the
have
dog
questions
pound.
right off the bat. Yes.
Okay.
So 2 dogs are breaking out of prison or a dog pound.
Yeah.
And this is my first question. Is
Yeah.
this dog pound run by humans or dogs? Because we don't see humans.
We don't.
They're firing weapons at these dogs, but it's run like a prison. Like there are lights, there are cages. They don't want them to escape. It's something.
It's something more than just a people dog pound, is what you're saying. Where
Right.
animals just go when they're scooped up from the... And
Yeah.
it seems like they did do something like... Dog pound would mean they were found on the street, so they had to pull them in, which technically all of these dogs are street dogs, right? They're junkyard dogs, like we said.
All street dogs, yes.
But they
But they
did
have
something.
careers and hopes and dreams.
They do, and they own businesses.
They own
so
But you're right in that this is not a dog pound. This is a dog prison.
yeah.
Because we find out that he was
But-
like set up or framed
Yes,
and
he
went
was
to
framed.
jail.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you translate being framed to just being caught by like a dog catcher or something.
Because they don't have jail in the dog world. They have a pound. Their pound is equivalent to our jail. Does
Yes.
that make sense?
Yes, but everything we see about this makes it look like a jail.
It is.
Like it's not. I mean, we're introduced to the fact that this movie is pretty intense and pretty dark right off the bat because it's not a comical. Oh, let's escape from this pound. I broke you out of a
No.
cage. We ran like the guy in charge, like whoa, fell over or something while trying to catch us. No, they're having guns fired at them as
Yeah.
they tunnel their way out of this
Yeah.
prison, which also almost appears to be on an island too.
Well, I think it's because they're in New Orleans, so they're near water.
So
maybe.
everything's on an island.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And
they.
for as much New Orleans, there's not a whole lot of New Orleans accents in this movie.
No, there's none really.
Yeah, I don't know.
We do get a taste of Mardi Gras, though. We do get to go to Mardi Gras.
We go to Mardi Gras for 30 seconds and
Yeah.
then just see an abandoned float.
And that's
Oh.
where they party. They party because what do dogs do in Mardi Gras? Nothing. They got some
Nothing.
other things to do.
They have no interest in going to Mardi Gras. Their Mardi Gras is this casino.
Yeah.
This dog casino where they gamble. Okay, so anyways, so this dog, Charlie, he is broken out of prison / dog pound by his friend Itchy. Mm-hmm. And so I guess Itchy wasn't in prison. Itchy's just there to break him out, right? Like they're not breaking out together.
No, I think they're together.
Oh, they're breaking out together.
Maybe.
Okay. I thought Itchy may have tunneled in to get him out.
Very possible, but
And anyway, it starts in
Anyway.
the middle of the breakout. 10 seconds into this movie. So then, after this, Charlie and Itchy go back to this not bar, I guess it's a casino.
it's
that
the
we were talking
casino.
about.
Yeah. And this is when you must have missed it, but it does tell us that we're in 1939 and it's a Louisiana bayou.
Yeah.
It did tell us that.
I
But you know what?
didn't
You were
take a
taking
lot of-
copious notes.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
no.
really didn't. Like, I don't have a whole lot of notes here. And even watching this, I was like, okay, they're singing another song. I don't have to write down notes for a little while. Like, with animated movies, I feel like I don't have to take a lot of notes, but I don't know how I'm missing all this stuff.
That's all right. That's why
Anyway.
I'm here. It's okay.
Yeah, all right. So
All right.
we're introduced to this casino. There's a race, a rat race, a literal rat race going on, which the dogs are gambling on.
Yeah. Who's going to win the rat race, which is kind of ironic to watch.
Right.
For the dogs to watch the rat race, but that's, yeah.
It's
And-
interesting that it's rats. It's interesting that there's not a cat to be seen in this movie.
No. Oh,
It took me
yeah.
a long time to realize that there's no cats.
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't it be a cat race? Like, isn't that more interesting? Is that dogs have dominion over cats and they're making them race? Because if it was a movie about cats, I could see there being a rat race. I just don't know why dogs are so interested in watching rats run around.
Well, because they're maybe easily trained, and then I thought I didn't think this as a kid, but watching it now, I thought, oh yeah, dogs watching a rat race, like humans are a rat race, and just I thought of it in that kind
All
of a
right.
way.
Okay.
But
I love it.
I didn't consider that there were no cats. That's
Yeah, it took me a while to realize that in
Yeah.
this movie. Like, when they were rounding up all the dogs near the end, when we finally meet normal dogs, and we realize that they're not all
Oh yeah,
criminals and
neighborhood dogs.
monsters.
Yeah, there's
Right.
no other.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, there's no cats. There's no... It's
Well,
strange.
it's not called all dogs and cats go to heaven.
No,
it's
I
just
know, but we see frogs, and we see turtles, and we see horses, and we
maybe
see
they
mice.
keep their lives separate. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
and it's I guess
Historically, maybe in the 30s, all cats were driven from New Orleans for some reason.
perhaps if we did some research, maybe
Yeah.
we'd find that out. I don't know.
All right, Jamie,
So
go to the
not only-
Wikipedia page for New Orleans and look up, I guess, the 1930s. So I love that these dogs are gambling. I guess they seem to be betting food. Because at one point,
Yes,
one dog's
meat.
like, oh no, I'm broken, I'm done. And I'm like, what is he betting with?
Yeah.
And then another dog tries to bet with an old collar. And the guy at the window is like, no, you can't do this. It's food or nothing.
Yeah, they gamble with their meat. Basically, it's
Yes.
a meat exchange of sorts. Although they gamble with meat and obviously eat the meat and the food, they also drink copious amounts of alcohol.
There's
There's
a lot of beer, and it's
a
clearly
lot of boozy
beer.
dogs. A lot of
Right.
boozy dogs.
It's not like in a lot of other animated movies or even Snoopy. You know, Snoopy drinks root beer and then gets
Oh,
all
yeah.
loopy. It's not even like they say root beer. Like, these dogs are just drinking beer out of giant steins and
Yeah.
glasses. Yeah, it's kind of strange.
Well, they're junkyard dogs, you know.
Oh, no. Okay. So at this point, Charlie goes back to this casino because he used to run this or was
Yes.
a partner
Yep.
along with this dog named Carface.
Yeah.
And there is no reason to name this dog Carface. His face doesn't look like a car. Like, it's just to have a joke, like a Scarface joke.
Yeah.
But I guess because there's cars all over this movie,
Yeah.
Carface makes sense.
And he's sort of like what type of dogs do you think they are? Like, I would think that Itchy's kind of like a dachshund, right?
He's a dachshund. Charlie's like a
Kind of like a mutt. He even sings about himself being a mutt.
okay.
dog.
I was gonna say like a German Shepherd.
Yeah, but he does have a German Shepherd
Yeah.
look. Yeah. And then Carface is kind of like a
Like
bulldog.
a bulldog? Yeah, I was gonna say a bulldog. And then
Yeah.
that nerd dog, I don't know what that thing is.
I don't know either.
It's a weird, it looks like an alien. Like it
Yeah.
looks like
It looks like a hairless cat, but dog style. Like that kind
Yes.
of weird.
yes.
It-
looks
not
like
that it
if
looks like a cat,
If
but-
the aliens from Mac and Me had long droopy ears and crawled around
Ooh.
on all fours, that's what he looks
And
like.
had big oval glasses. Yeah. Okay. I'll take it.
glasses,
Yeah. Yeah. Lonnie
Yeah.
Anderson's a collie, right?
Yeah.
And I think so's the angel.
I don't know what kind of dog that was.
Okay.
It's a pink dog. They don't exist.
She's a heavenly creature.
Right. So he's there to sort of get back into business with Carface.
Yes.
Now,
This
Carface,
is our first song, by the way. You probably forgot it. But when he arrives back at the casino, he sings, "You can't keep a good dog down."
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I did not write the name of the song down. I literally wrote, listening to Burt Reynolds sing is difficult.
It is. It is. You
Yeah.
can't keep a good dog down. I think
Oh.
he talks about.
And
Go ahead,
he and
Mar-
his buddy put on some vaguely racist show where they
Yes.
dress up. They have like a symbol on their head and they're talking about how they're from China. It's not great.
They talk about how they prefer a life of sin. Dogs that
Yep.
prefer a life of sin. Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
They're singing. Yeah, they're singing a song that says, "We love to sin. It's the greatest thing."
Mm-hmm.
And 5 minutes later, we find out, oh, dogs go to heaven because they're great.
Because they're great. All
It
dogs.
doesn't matter. It doesn't
But-
matter what you sing about or what you do.
You're a dog. Heaven is waiting for you.
Yeah, they are loyal, but we find out that they're not. That
They're
most
not.
of these dogs
These
are
guys
not
aren't.
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we find out that Carface, I guess, somehow set Charlie up to take the fall for something, to get him out of the picture so that he could run this casino
Yep.
and make all this money.
Yep. And not split split it with Charlie.
Right. So he decides that he's going to take care of Charlie, just take him out.
Yeah.
Itchy overhears this, though, but for some reason can't stop it. Like, doesn't get there in time.
I don't think he's timely enough. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
this
he-
is another part of the movie where sequences didn't make sense because Itchy like overheard this and was like, "Oh my god, I gotta go warn him."
Yeah.
And then he went somewhere where Charlie's not, but Charlie's just still sitting out there getting hammered with all these other dogs.
Well, because he's excited. He's back. He's busted
Sure.
out of jail. And now he's sort of celebrating his return. It looks like business is doing good. The casino's up and running still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think he goes and talks to, Charlie goes to talk to Carface. And Carface is trying to kind of let him know, listen, I don't think the partnership is going to work out. I don't think.
Sure.
And he's like, what are you talking about? I've got great plans for this casino. We need to add more entertainment, more music, because I sing so wonderfully. I can sing for, and he's kind of
Yeah,
not
he
hearing
even
it.
says like, "We need dancing girl."
Yeah,
What? Do you really? And also at this point, I understand that Carface is the villain and he does terrible things, but when Charlie was talking about this, in my mind, I was like, this didn't seem to be doing that well when Charlie was in the picture. Like,
Right?
Carface made a ton of money. I think Charlie has some bad ideas. I get it, Carface.
Yeah,
You probably just don't want this guy dragging you down.
and initially Carface is trying to let him off easy. He's like, I don't think the partnership's working, and Charlie's just not hearing it. Right?
Carface is like, here, take this candy cane. Why does he have a bucket of candy canes in his office? And it even comes into play at the end of the movie. He shoves a candy cane in his mouth. I'm like, does this have anything to do with anything? I expected, like,
Did you
I
know dogs
think-
love candy canes too?
no,
That's
I mean,
another-
I kind of thought maybe what they were going for was like, you know, like a box of cigars. Like, here, have a cigar. But
Oh, yeah.
no, they're candy canes with the little, like, the end is hooked, but they're just in a bucket, in a metal bucket. It was very confusing. I know I shouldn't concentrate on that, but I couldn't help it.
That's okay. I like the things that you pick up on.
Charlie gets very drunk.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to take him down to the docks, to then sit him at the end of a dock and to blindfold him.
Yeah, they blindfold him, he's, again, so shit-faced that he kind of doesn't have a clue what's happening. Carface's assistant is the weird-looking, Mac and Me-looking dog.
Right.
Whose name is Killer, I think.
Okay, all right.
So Killer is going to take Charlie down. Or actually, Carface is going to run him over.
Carface does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess maybe this is why he's called Carface. His weapon of choice is a car. It's at the top, and I love how this dock it doesn't just go straight out in the water. It goes up a hill.
Yeah.
I guess. Because at the top of the hill is a car, and Carface just kind of like takes the parking brake off, and this car rolls down, and then we're transported to heaven through a series of it's like
he kind of whooshes.
show. Yeah, there's bubbles, like he's underwater, I guess. But yeah, then we're in heaven because it's just clouds and clocks everywhere you see.
And there's gates when he first arrives. He's by some
pearly gates.
Pearly
you
gates.
Might say.
And this is another song we get treated to, a little duet between he and the Welcome to Being Dead song. And he doesn't want to die, but
wait, the song is Welcome to Being Dead?
I don't know if that's the name of the song.
Okay.
But she sings that. She says, Welcome to Being Dead. And he's like, I don't want to die. I mean, I sing worse than Burt Reynolds, but I'll do it for you. I don't care.
Listen, let's not say things that we might regret tomorrow. Saying that means that you sing worse than who we were just talking about in The Last Unicorn. There's no way you're a worse singer than what's his face, Jeff Bridges.
No, I'm pretty bad. I'm proud of how bad I sing.
Well, I don't know. I think,
but I'm in good company, I guess. I'm in good company.
You could have played Charlie. I think you would have done a fine job.
Oh, on the contrary, I wanted to be Anne Marie in the worst way when I used to. And Itchy. I really liked Itchy when I watched this as a kid.
Well, Itchy's kind of funny, kind of the comic relief of this. Except, I don't know, it gets really... Like when he gets beat up.
When he gets beat up, and he's so beat up, and he's like, Charlie, I wanted to tell you, I just can't. When he comes to Charlie, and he's all bruised, and he's like, you wanted to do this, and I said no, but I did it anyway because I'm your friend. And he keeps going on.
I was literally waiting for him to go, they took my Tums. They took my Tums. But no, he's just all scraped up. Oh, so there is a pink dog. Who's, I guess she's the gatekeeper, and it is really great how he's like, oh, am I in heaven? She's like, don't worry about, you know what? We'll check on that later, as though they have to check on whether a dog is worthy.
She does check a book.
Yeah, she has a book, and she's like, don't worry about it. I'm sure you're in here. I guess I take every dog's word for it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, right.
It must be, yeah.
I guess it was a typo or something.
Yeah, we're fine. You're a dog. Yeah.
I love how he says his dream is to go to Brazil at this point because he's talking about why he doesn't want to be there. And he's like, I always just wanted to, I guess this is sing-songy. He talks about going to Brazil.
Yeah.
And later on, where does Itchy want to go? Like Taiwan or something?
The Himalayas.
Yeah,
There's a place there called Tibet. Like Tibet.
Right. They're looking for the greatest casino. It must be in Tibet. Oh. So the whole time he's singing with this dog, how does he put two and two together that this watch will transport him back to Earth?
Before he left Earth, when he was celebrating and before he was killed,
they give him a watch.
Carface gave him a watch, and now he has this watch when he's in heaven, or maybe sees it in the clock room or whatever. And I think she makes mention like, well, your time is up. Your watch has ended and your time is up. So that's why you're here. And maybe the room of clocks is where all the dogs' clocks go when their time is up. So, I mean, I don't know. I didn't do research on.
No, okay, that makes more sense because you're right. He swaps out his watch with the magical watch. that will transport him back to Earth.
They have a little back and forth, songy back and forth, where he takes the watch and she doesn't know. She's like so excited, like, you're going to love it here in heaven. Yep. It's so great. He's like, I'm not ready to die. And he's got the watch behind his back and he's winding it. And she's like, Charlie, what are you doing? Don't do that. Don't touch that watch, Charlie. Don't what are you doing? That's not for you. You can't mess with that kind of stuff. And sure enough, he sets the watch back and gets zapped back down to Earth.
And it appears he only wants to come back for
revenge. Yeah, he's angry now. Now that he knows the whole story.
Yes. I do like how when he leaves, you hear her voice going, you can never come back.
Charlie, you can never come back. Not that he cares. I mean, he didn't seem very impressed by heaven while he was up there.
No.
Yeah.
It's a bizarre reaction to even being dead. She's like, oh, you're dead. He's like, all right. That's a bummer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I don't know.
He's like, no, I'm not ready to die. I'm not ready. And she's like, it's wonderful here. You can eat anything you want. And we walk on clouds. And
he does talk about how boring heaven appears to be.
Yes, he says there's not enough. That's the little... That's the rub, is that he's bored with heaven because there's no surprises, because everything is in the book. Everything has been planned out. We know what has happened to you and what will happen to you. And Charlie doesn't like that. He wants a life of surprise.
He needs spontaneity.
Yes.
You know, he's not going to settle down with some dog in a dilapidated church just because he got her pregnant.
That's
nope.
Right.
He is
right.
out running around
Nope.
every now and then. Maybe shows up with some pizzas. Like that. And I got to tell you, the animation in this movie is nothing to write home about, but that is the most delicious looking pizza I've ever seen
It's so
in
cheesy.
an animated movie. It's just goo. It's just cheese, goo. It looks so good.
You're like, I need to eat pizza right
really
now. Like, I need to, and I'll share it. I don't care, but I need
I don't care. I'll share it with a bunch of dogs. Whatever.
little
He
cute
brings
puppies?
like 10 pizzas for 10 puppies. Mm-hmm. All right. So anyway, he meets up with his buddy.
Oh, he's so sad when he first meets up with
Yep.
Itchy. Itchy's just crying that Charlie's gone.
He's sad and then very frightened.
Well, yeah, because he's dreaming that he's being choked by Carface, because I guess Charlie's choking him awake. And you're right. Charlie just wants revenge. He looks at Itchy, so glad that he's alive and that he's back, and can't believe. First, he thinks he's a ghost. He's like, no, get out of here. You're a ghost.
Right.
And he's like, no, it's me. And I'm here. And we got to get even.
I like how he convinces him that he's not a ghost. Do ghosts have fleas? Oh, no, you're right. Ghosts don't have fleas. What? Really? I guess this is a dog thing?
Yeah. That's how you're going to prove yourself, right?
Okay.
So
all right. Good.
He's like, we got to go get even with Carface. And Itchy's not into it. He's like, no, he's got this monster that he keeps there. And he's going to really,
Yes.
He's really going to be upset, Charlie. He thinks you're dead. Why don't we just run off and start
Charlie
a new life?
is the voice of reason. Even later on in the movie, he's like, I wanted to do this. You told me to do this. We should have left.
Itchy
you told me to
yeah,
stay.
yeah.
That's what I meant. Yeah, because he's like, let's go to Tibet. Let's not mess with Carface. Let's just get out of here. Mm-hmm. What ends up happening? They end up stealing his monster and opening a casino like right down the road from him.
Yeah, like that's a little
all these
obvious.
things are
I'm
terrible.
like,
yes.
aren't you trying to stay under wraps? No, but he doesn't.
Because that's the other thing. If Carface thinks you're dead, pretend you're dead.
Yeah,
like
stay
just
dead.
lay low.
Yeah, don't
Get
open up
out
your
of
own
town.
casino. Yeah, don't
No.
draw up maps or plans for your own new place.
Right. Why do they go to
He's
Carface's?
he just
Why do
wants.
they
I
go
think
to,
because
he just wants to see the monster.
I know. I think he just needs to get there and get even. And he's like, well, we're just going there. And then they stumble upon the quote monster in the room, and it's just
This
like,
is
see,
so
look.
sad.
Told
I
her.
felt so bad for this girl. Like through this movie, I was like, this is just so sad. Like she's being abused by dogs. Like and all dogs that go to heaven are terrible to her.
They are.
At every turn.
And she's nothing but sweet.
Oh.
She's the cutest little. She kind of looks like a baby Snow White because she's got black hair and she wears.
Oh
this,
my God! Yes,
right?
she looks like baby Snow White. It's crazy.
And she's got these big blue eyes and this sweet little honey voice.
Yeah, I don't know how many times in my notes I wrote And that's the last straw. She's finally had it with Charlie. No!
No.
He tells some lie and she's back with him.
'Cause
Oh,
she's
but
got-
no. Now she finds out this. Now this is the end. Nope. He buys pizza for puppies and she's back with him. Oh, and now she heard him. She overheard him saying terrible things. Now they're done. Nope. She's
No,
okay
she
with him
still
again.
loves him. She's got a big heart, this Anne-Marie.
Yeah.
But when
and she
we-
is a little kid. I mean, we can excuse her for maybe not seeing
Knowing.
through his
Yeah.
deceit. I
And
guess.
just loving him anyway. And that's why at the end he softens. Because he realizes, which is very little and not quite enough. I understand that argument, but he feels her love, and that no matter what she did, she just loved him. She's like the dog in this situation. You know how the dog loves
Sure.
unconditionally and
Yes.
just looks at you with these big bright. She is that to them,
Yeah.
and they are like the humans in this case.
Right.
Where
Yes.
they're just
I wanted the dog, the heavenly dog at the end of this to be like, we're doing it all wrong.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
little girls go to heaven. That's what it is. His whole dog thing is nonsense.
no, some of them are really not nice.
Right? They deserve to be harshly judged. But children, come on in.
Come on, you're welcome. You know, that's what my husband said when we were finished the movie or watching. He goes, "This guy, this lead he's not very likable. This Charlie
No.
guy. Like, I don't want to like him." I'm like, "Well, you kind of."
Well, that's see, I felt the same way. I was like, he's so unlikable. I wanted to like him.
Yeah.
I did because he's the quote unquote hero of the movie, but it's like he's terrible. Like he's really awful. And you see it right away because they break in, they see that she is kept in
Yes.
the basement of this place. And
Yeah.
Carface comes in, and even the little girl's like, "Can I go outside today?" And he's like, if you tell me which rat's going to win. So this is when we find out that she can communicate with animals. She can talk to the dogs and she can talk to the rats. So she can feed Carface information about which rat's going to win. And I love how I guess it appears that all animals that run races fix the race.
Yeah,
Like,
they know who's going to
she
win.
can just talk to him and be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he's gonna win. Okay, cool. Oh, this one has a cold, and you're really not feeling up to it, and your ankle hurts, and he's just plain sad. All right, I guess this guy's
Yeah.
gonna win." But this all goes against what we saw. The only rat race we saw at the beginning of this was one where a rat won in the weirdest, like, off the wall
Oh yeah, but they
circumstances.
were in this weird. Yeah.
It just seemed like an accident, like he was shot out of a bottle or something that he fell into, became carbonated. I'm like, wait, they wouldn't have told this little girl this. Like, it's so accidental. But then Carface leaves and he's like, "You're not going outside," or whatever.
It's so sad when they
She's
leave her
so
and she's just
sad.
like, she's miserable. And they tell him, I think he yells to this little assistant, "Feed the kid."
Yeah.
I don't know what they feed her or what they do with her. It's just, it's
Yeah.
a really sad situation for poor Anne-Marie.
I want to know her backstory. Like, how did she ever get abducted by dogs in the first place?
Right? Where was
She
she
says
that
she's
they...
an orphan. We
Yeah.
find out that she's an orphan, but we don't know how she became entangled with these the criminal underbelly of the dog world. But even Charlie, because we see dollar signs in his eyes,
Yes.
literally, when he sees that she can communicate with rats, and he's like, "Come on, let's get her out of here." And
Yeah, and
you
we're
know, she
going
can
to
work
use
for
her
us.
for our... Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Itchy is not on board with this, but he goes along with it anyway.
Well, he's not on board because he just wants to leave the whole Carface thing alone. Like, this is Carface's
Right.
girl and monster, and she just belonged to her. But they do.
Yes.
They convince her. First, she's not into it, but they convince her to come with them, and they're going to give her a new life and a different life. Here's my first question.
Yes.
What is Carface doing when he finds out that Anne-Marie is gone? He's driving a car, but there's a TV behind, or there's a screen behind him.
Good. These are good questions. I had the same question. It's almost like in movies when they're filming a movie, and so you sit in a car, but you're not moving. But
Yeah.
the screen around you appears. I don't understand. That's what he's doing. He's just sitting in a piece of it. It's not even a full car.
No, it's like a ride-on car, like a
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, like you'd put a quarter in it, would
Yes.
just shake. Yes.
And behind him is a screen of like driving, and that's what.
And this is what he does.
That's
for
what
fun.
dogs do for fun. I don't know.
This is what he does. Yes.
Shady dogs do for fun.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And we're not done with cars because Charlie lives at the dump in a car. Mm-hmm. So Anne Marie, which is the girl's name, she is going to stay over in that car. He's reading War and Peace to her, but he's reading it like Robin Hood.
And he's making it up as he goes along. And he's even reading the book upside down. And I love it. He's telling kind of his version of Robin Hood.
Yes.
And she's all like fascinated with the story and that it's a good guy. And Itchy's like, well, why would they take the goods from the people and why wouldn't they keep them themselves? This Robin Hood, he sounds like he doesn't have a good head on his shoulders. What's the problem here? It's really sweet. This was one of my more memorable scenes. And he's reading to her, and then he tries to put her to bed. And it's just like, you're a kid. It's like any parent trying to put a kid to bed.
She's asking a lot of questions.
Yes.
She's removing the junk from the front seat so she can sleep. And the front seat's too lumpy. They trade. Yes, and she says she loves him and she's praying for him. He gives her a goodnight kiss, which then he like spits and it's super gross. He doesn't like it. So yes, it was adorable.
Very sweet. The next day, they get ready for, I guess, what he deems as Anne Marie's job. They're going to take her to the horse track.
Yes.
Where she's gonna. At first, she's mad because she realizes when she gets there,
this is the first part
like
of the movie where she should be like, "Hey," and she even says, "You're just like Carface. You're just using me." And Charlie, pretty smart. Why did he read her Robin Hood? Because he just tells her, "This is just like Robin Hood. I'm going to take all this money we're going to make, and I'm going to give it to people that need it." And she is down with this. She's okay. I guess that
was enough for her.
The reason why. Yeah. Right. Yes.
And he like it. He's always like, "Charlie, me? You think I would do that? No."
Yes.
So,
and this is also the first point in the movie where we see that this is a world inhabited by humans because there's humans everywhere now. Suddenly,
right?
They're at the track, and there's people everywhere.
He also promises to find her parents. That's the other thing.
Yeah, don't make these promises, Charlie. I don't.
No. But she's buying it. She's like, all right, you're going to give to the poor. You're going to find me parents. I'll help you talk to these animals.
Yep. She's like, like those people over there? Just like those people over there. And they're the first people they scam. Like, they're not even betting on the horses yet. They're just there, and they steal this couple's wallet. And I was having Cabbage Patch Kid flashbacks.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, my God, was I having flashbacks.
Yeah, so
to this.
Itchy gets thrown in as the, like, bait dog. And he's, like, howling and, like, he's hurt.
He's
and
injured,
so
he's wounded. Oh,
yeah, this couple goes in to check, and then it's funny because Anne Marie swoops in and is like, "Oh no, Itchy, are you okay? What's wrong with you, Itchy? Let me see your paw." And they're like, "Little girl, is this your dog?" And she's like, got a chokehold on Itchy, and finally, Charlie swoops in and grabs the wallet out of the man's back pocket, and this is all the cash they need to start placing their bets.
Right.
Now, she did, after pouting for a minute, Anne Marie did work her magic and talk to the horses and found out from them that it's the Grand Chahi's birthday.
It's his birthday. And horses let other horses win races
on their birthday. Well, because when we get a look at the Grand Chahi, and even to win the race, the Grand Chahi is in
He is such a
goofy
shape.
Yes.
Like, every buck-toothed, dumb animal that you've ever seen in like a Looney Tunes cartoon, that's
the
who
Grand
this animal
Chahi.
is.
Yeah. But he is now slated to win, and the odds are just against him. Like, even
it's 1,000 to 1.
Yeah,
which I don't know if those are real odds. Like, I don't think I've ever seen betting odds that were 1,000 to 1. So they decide to place their bets.
Oh my God, this is hilarious when they place their bets.
Where did they get that fake mustache that they put on?
I know, and the long trench coat. So they go as, because dogs can't place a bet. They have the cash now that they took from the man, who, by the way, the man and the woman, sort of, they're like, "Oh, this little girl, this is your dog, but where's your parents?" And she she then has to follow Charlie. As she's trying to kind of strike up a conversation with these
Yeah.
little parents, Charlie sneaks out and is like, come on, kid, we got to go. And she's like, but Charlie, I think these are nice people and maybe they want to be my parents. And he's like, we got to place this bet before the race starts, kid. Let's go.
I love how later the people aren't like, is this the same girl that we saw at the track?
Yeah.
Like, what? They don't put two and two together. I guess there's a lot of people, I get it. They don't know that it's the same girl. But that must be an awkward conversation later when she finally tells them, like, what was going on. And
Yeah, she's like, actually.
yeah, my dog friend stole your wallet, mister.
My dog friend. Oh, well, so in order for them to place this bet, they do a pile on each other where
They stack up and wear a big trench coat.
it's
Yes.
hilarious and adorable. And Anne-Marie has to do this fake voice when she places her bet. And they place the bets on the Grand Shahi to win because it's his birthday.
Yes.
And sure enough, he wins.
The other horses actually are talking during the race.
Yes,
They
Reginald.
sidle right up next to him.
Yeah.
It's like, did you know that it's the Grand Shahi's birthday today? And he's like, oh no, I had no idea. My mistake. So they just
And
let
then they
this horse
literally
win.
push the Grand Shahi over the finish line.
Yeah. You've
Because-
seen it in horse races all the time where
Yeah.
horses just push another one across. A horse that probably shouldn't be racing anyway.
Yeah.
And then we get our winnings or our betting gambling montage, let's call it.
Oh, yeah. We get a little montage of all the things we do with all them and how we win the monies by, she talks to frogs and turtles. Oh, kangaroos. I think there's a kangaroo
Kangaroo
race. that we-
boxing. No, there's kangaroo boxing.
There we go.
Yes. Everything
that
else
was
is
popular
racing.
in New
The
Orleans.
Right, yes. The frog racing. Did you see how gross that was at the end? Like, they raced to a bucket of flies?
Oh.
How
they
do
do
you get a
love
bucket of flies? Because they're just flying around this bucket, but it's filled with just, I guess, dead flies, and then the frog jumps in. It's super gross. And my thought was, at the beginning of this, we see dogs gambling with food and getting food. Mm-hmm. What are they doing with this money?
Oh, yeah. Now there's money in
Like,
play.
what are they doing with this money? Because when they start their casino, we see them put it together, and it's just made from cars in the junkyard. They
Right.
didn't need
They
money
didn't need
to
money.
do this. Now, I understand they need money to buy pizza. I get it. But
And
other
the
than
other
that,
things,
what
they
other
buy
things?
her. They
Oh,
finally buy her
no.
clothes.
They go on a shopping spree
Yeah.
with this
And-
little girl. Yes, okay, right.
Which
yes.
is a pretty fun. And
You're right.
maybe that's so they can get the money starts piling in. And
Oh,
although
speaking of
they,
shopping sprees, we
Yeah.
should have said at the beginning of this that you should all sign up for Patreon because 1 week from today we are doing Under the Cherry Moon.
oh,
And I don't want to talk too much about it because we should have done it at the beginning, but it is well worth your $5. The discussion about this movie is insane.
the movie itself was a little insane.
I did not know what I was getting into. You didn't know what this movie was all
Not
about.
a clue. Mm-mm.
We were shocked by speaking of the 1930s, I
Yeah.
think that movie takes
Yeah,
place in
it
the
was.
30s
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and the 80s at the same time, and it's in black and white, and it's Prince directing a movie. I don't know. Okay, let's move on. Let's go back to this. But again, a week from today, that'll come out. That'll be on our Patreon. Everybody should go and Patronize us.
Patronize for
yeah,
Under the
just
Cherry Moon. 'Cause it is.
Patronize us for Under the Cherry Moon because it
Yeah.
is worth it. I kind of want to watch it again.
I know it gets in you, right? I'm like, I need other
really
people to see this. I
Yes.
texted my aunt and I was like, please tell me you've seen this movie because you used to wear a hat that looked just like the ones he wore in the bathtub scene. And I
Wait.
need to know.
The one he wore? In
Yes.
the bathtub. Your
Yeah.
aunt dressed like that.
She had the hat.
Dressed
Yeah.
like Prince in the
Yeah.
bathtub. Okay. Did she also call you and eat crackers on the phone and not say anything for extended periods of time? We could hear her laughing with her friend in the background. All right. We're talking about All Dogs Go to Heaven. To hear that conversation, go to patreon.com/goodtimesgreatmovies and check it out. It's
Get on
it's
it.
a good one. It's a good one. All right. So,
All right. So what they do with the money, I don't know, but I do know that after they earn a lot of money, they just kind of swim in it, like Scrooge McDuck style. They just kind of hang out with their money, and then again, Anne Marie gets sad, and they realize that she's sad, so they go take her shopping.
This is the second time where she's like, "I'm out. You guys are liars." And he's like, well, we were just holding on this money to buy you dresses.
Yeah, and they take her shopping and they buy her new clothes, and that sort of satisfies her for a while. Meantime, Itchy draws up a new draft to build Charlie's place, Charlie's new gambling hole.
Yeah, now, for Itchy not being on board with this, he's like, all right, well, you asked me to design this place and build it. Done.
Charlie is...
I'm sure Carface can't see this from down the street.
Well, here's the thing. At this point now, Charlie is clearly not hiding out. He's right. He's
clearly not dead. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how long, because we do then cut to Carface, who knows Charlie's alive and is, for some reason, going to kill Charles Nelson Riley.
Yes, the killer dog.
I don't know why. Why?
I think he's
the one that rolled the car into him.
But he still he blames him for letting Charlie get away. Right?
All right, and
he thinks it's his fault.
Yeah, and he has a pool of piranhas that never come back in this movie. And he's going to drop Charles Nelson Riley into this pool of piranhas. But Charles Nelson Riley says, I have a ray gun.
Not just any. He's got a Flash Gordon thermal atomic ray gun.
Yes.
Because how a dog gets his hands on that in Louisiana, I don't know.
And I don't know how much research you did on this movie.
Yeah.
And I don't want to bring the podcast down.
Oh.
Did you find out what happened to the little girl in real life?
No.
She was murdered by her father.
No way.
This movie was still being made. The father killed her and her mother and then himself.
No.
Yes. Yeah.
That's terrible.
And Don Bluth went back and made them make this a ray gun in the movie. It was just supposed to be a regular gun. He made them make it a ray gun. He had them go back and redraw her character to make it look more like the actual little girl did.
Oh my
gosh.
Yeah.
It's
I didn't know that.
It was so sad. When I found out about that, I was like, this is so sad. Yeah, she was just a little girl, and her dad, he was loony, and he shot them and shot himself, and and it was during, like, all the voice acting was done, but they were still making the movie. It was still in production when it happened.
I'm so sad by this right now. I don't know.
I know. Maybe I should have waited till the end.
Yeah, you should have waited till the end.
I thought you knew. I thought
didn't.
you had to have at least clicked on her name or something on IMDb. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Well, guys, you're listening to the last episode of this podcast.
Wow. All right. Well, that's a downer.
Sorry.
But
I thought you knew. Anyway, that's why it's a ray gun. That's why it's a ray gun and not an actual gun. But anyway.
All right.
Sorry.
Well, was the father upset by her role?
No, he like, in reading stuff, you could tell that he was mentally unstable, and like the police had been called before for domestic abuse and stuff like that, and like the mother had been told to leave with the daughter, and she never left. She never pressed charges, and it just, So anyway, go to our Patreon and maybe just stop listening to this now and wait for Under the Cherry Moon.
I really don't know what to do now moving forward with this information.
Jeez. Maybe I should not have brought that up at all.
All right.
And I apologize to any listener who may have just been having a good time and didn't know this either.
Well, all right. Well, okay.
All right, that's really sad. So sorry, everyone.
P.S. I like how you have more details on this girl and her killer father than most anything else.
Than most anything else from any other movie that we've ever covered.
You're like, And he had a prior record, and I've got that pulled up right here if you want to know about it. And
And then we do Three Amigos, and I'm like, who is this Chevy Chase fella?
I'm not even sure
Never heard of this guy
did
before.
anything before this.
Martin Short? Is that his real name, or was that a stage name?
Well, all right. Well, way to bring some gloom and doom, but that's okay because we're about to.
This is a gloomy, doomy movie.
Is it?
No, not really. No, it's kind of silly. So this is when Charlie tells her that, okay, we bought you a lot of stuff. Now they make the casino. And she's like, what? You made a whole casino? You guys are creeps. And
Right.
it's like, no, we are going to give the money to the poor. Here's the poorest people I know.
Yep.
Let's get them some pizzas.
Yeah, a bunch of puppies. I mean, and
Yes.
P.S., who doesn't love puppies and
Oh,
pizza, right?
It's so cute, too, because up until this point in the movie, I'm like, all these dogs are mangy and gross.
Yeah.
And not really that cute.
Not adorable, no.
And finally, we see Lonnie Anderson, who looks great as a dog, and all of her cute, adorable puppies. And I'm like, oh, okay, these are cute dogs.
Yeah.
This is nice. And he never says I'm the father to some of these puppies, but he's got to be, right?
Sort of implied, yeah. They call him Uncle Charlie, though, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these puppies are not his. Definitely.
Yeah, she does have a lot of puppies. Yeah.
There's a lot of different breeds of
Yeah.
puppy in this abandoned church living with Lonnie Anderson, the collie.
This is our, what is it? It's our third or fourth song, the one that you had mentioned. What's mine is yours. What's yours is
Yeah.
mine.
He tries to teach these puppies to share, and at
Mm-hmm.
the end they fight over a piece, and he just smiles and shrugs like, oh, those.
These crazy
Sons of
little
mine,
whippersnappers. These sons of mine.
And even Lonnie Anderson's like, hey, I haven't seen you around here
Yeah, she
in a
goes,
while.
I wish you would come around more.
Yeah, it's kind of like, where have you been? She doesn't seem to know that he had been in prison.
No,
Or
or
out
that
of
he
prison,
died.
or killed.
Yeah.
Anything. I don't know the last time he visited his
Well,
children.
She's been preoccupied. She's got a lot of pups to take care of and figure out for.
Yeah. You
So-
don't know how many dogs are coming around with pizzas during the week, I guess.
Anne-Marie seems pretty satisfied at first with this whole puppy interaction. Like I said,
Sure.
who wouldn't be with the puppies and the pizza and the Charlie's giving to the poor? But then, how did he buy said pizza?
Oh my God. Again, Anne Marie, 5 minutes ago, said, I'm out. 5 minutes before that, I'm out. Now she finds this couple's wallet with an adorable picture of the two of them in the wallet,
Yeah,
by the
very
way.
sweet.
And she's like, wait a 2nd. I know these people. Where did this wallet come from? And she's out again. Like, it is just, I'm going to climb to the steeple of this abandoned church and be sad. And finally, someone other than Burt Reynolds sings this song.
When she starts singing, it changes into this like singing voice, which I know, like you said, that happens in the cartoons
Right.
and it's what you're kind of supposed to do. But it does sort of throw you because like Charlie got to sing in Charlie's
Yeah.
voice. So you would think this little girl and her sweet little girl voice could have made this. And
Could do something. Like, it's like if you're listening to Burt Reynolds and being like, oh, you know what? This has to go in the movie.
yeah, we're going to make you sing 5 more songs. Yeah.
I don't care what this girl sounds like. You keep her in this movie.
Yeah.
You don't bring in another actress to sing a song.
And
It's-
you have her do it in a little cutesy way because honestly,
Right.
even this song, you didn't enjoy this song. So this song I didn't remember in
I don't even know what it is.
as from watching as a kid. I didn't remember that she had this little song. It's a song about how she wants to be she's sad because she's
Okay.
alone or whatever. But
All right.
to me, I'm like, we didn't need her to sing this. We know how she's feeling, and we didn't need a little song and dance about it. But whatever. So then she goes off. She wants a home in her heart or something like that is the song. And then
Some cheesy crap, whatever. Charlie, at no point in this movie when you think he is actually remorseful, is he? And even now he has a very disturbing dream.
the hell dream.
About
Yeah.
dog hell.
yeah.
And I wrote in my notes, oh, he's finally convinced to do good. And I had to go back and delete that because the dream doesn't even convince him to do good. There
No.
really is no change of heart.
No.
And Marie has a change of heart. She goes to return the wallet to these people, much like the Cabbage Patch Kids again. And he goes and manipulates her to leave that house. Like it's not
She's
even
living
like he's
high
like,
on the hog.
Yes.
They're feeding her waffles. She's loving it. Even Harold and Kate are their names, by the way. Harold and Kate are so great, and I think she tells them that they're like, well, where's your parents? Where do you live? She's like, I live in the junkyard with my dog Charlie. They're like,
Charlie.
what are we going to do
but
about
where
this?
do you live? In the junkyard.
Yeah.
With Charlie. I just told you people. These waffles are delicious also. And he doesn't go there and see her like through the window and like, it would almost make sense if he like smiled and then kind of got sad and walked away and she saw him. No, he like pretends that he's dying without her.
Yeah, he coughs in the flowers. Yeah,
he falls into a flower patch, and as you said, the part I missed is she just crawls out the window and wanders away with him to an outdoor fruit market where they're shot at by a laser gun, where there are no people. There is not a human being or anything. The bullets, lasers, are flying wildly through the streets. And there's nobody in the middle of New Orleans.
Nope. And is this when his watch blocks the laser, right? So he can't get shot. And this is then when they fall into the sewer, and Charlie can't find his watch for a minute.
Stuff goes so fast. It goes so fast at this point. It's like, oh, we got to end this movie. We got to end this animated movie.
Now this is what's happening.
Under an hour and a half. Oh, and then they fall into the sewer, and then they float away, but they're not really floating away. Suddenly they're in cages, and there's rats holding them.
I love it.
Whoa,
there's these crazy like native angry rats that capture them, and he looks at her and he's like, Squeaker, because Squeaker's his little nickname for her.
Right.
Squeaker, we're gonna die.
I do like how he asks her, he's like, what are they saying? And she's like, I don't know. It's an old form of the language. I don't understand.
Yeah, I can't understand
Okay, all right.
Yeah, because they're gonna sacrifice them basically.
Right.
Till Charlie howls.
Oh, we did say that they let Burt Reynolds sing. There's no way this is Burt Reynolds howling. There is absolutely no way this is him howling, because it sounds great.
Because it sounds like wonderful howl.
Calls this like they're about to be eaten, or he's about to be eaten by this giant crocodile or alligator, whatever lives in New Orleans. And this is when he howls, and this alligator cannot eat him. Instead decides to sing. Just
because it's been waiting for its.
I mean, it's a he that likes to wear women's clothing.
Yeah.
No, nothing wrong with that. But it's a cross.
Let's make music together. Let's make sweet harmony.
And again,
sorry,
this
that's the song.
lasts like 30 seconds.
Well, that's the only line is let's make music together. Let's make sweet harmony. And then I think at first he's like, I don't know what to do with this. Yeah. And then he does a couple of lines of let's make music together.
I was like, oh no, why? I was fine with that alligator singing. Whoever that guy is doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Probably performs on Broadway, and then Burt Reynolds has to sing again.
And then Burt joins in. But they sing underwater too. It's a little longer than 30 seconds.
Oh, it is kind of funny when he does dive underwater and sings, and it's all like bubbly. Yes. Yeah, I do like that. This is where I guess everyone can understand crocodiles, because dogs can't understand anything but dogs. And I guess humans,
oh yeah,
they don't know what rats are saying.
No,
rats don't know what dogs are saying.
The horses wouldn't know.
The horses don't know what's going on, but everybody can understand this crocodile. So moving on, Itchy at the same time is threatened by Carface.
Oh,
this is when he's tending bar at this casino, and is surrounded by Carface and his thugs.
Yep.
Charlie does not take, after this adventure, near-death experience, Charlie does not take Anne-Marie back to... Oh, Anne-Marie appears to have pneumonia or is dying
gets
or
sick.
something.
Yeah, she's gotten real sick. She's gotten... Well, they were just in a sewer floating around. They were just in this nasty sewer, floating around with this alligator. The alligator took them on his big belly off onto an adventure somewhere. So she's caught a little bit of a cold. She's been sleeping in a car.
No, you're right. She's been sleeping in a car in a junkyard.
Yeah.
I know. It doesn't get that cold in New Orleans, but nothing she's been doing is very healthy.
No, she's so she's got a bit
Except
of she's got
eating
the touch
waffles. That was probably the highlight of her time in this movie.
That's the best part.
Instead of taking her to a doctor or a hospital or back to these humans, he takes her back to this abandoned church where Lonnie Anderson and the puppies live.
Oh, and Lonnie Anderson's even like, she doesn't seem well. He's like, does she need a vet? What do you think?
Even that, take her to a vet.
Yeah.
Do something other than keeping her so that you can bet on horse races.
Yeah.
Well, Itchy finally comes back and is all beat up. This is when Itchy's all bruised and nearly killed. He said, they tried to kill me.
Yeah, and in the meantime, when they came to kill him, he was looking for his friend. He wanted his friend Charlie's protection, and Charlie was too busy chasing around Anne-Marie and having these adventures with this alligator. Yeah. So now we have an Itchy who is not only physically hurt, but he's also, his heart is hurt. His friend sort of abandoned him when he's been there for his friend and made such sacrifices. And he goes on to point out how each one was against his will and his better judgment.
Yep.
But he still followed because why? He was just trying to be a friend.
And again, Charlie is very selfish, and you can see, like, Charlie doesn't really care about the girl. I guess he does at the end of this. I'm so confused. And he doesn't really care about Itchy, but I guess he does. I don't know. He doesn't care about Lonnie Anderson, but I guess I don't know, because it's so, like, even at this point, like, he's talking to Itchy and he's like, that girl, I don't care about her. When we're done with her, we'll just dump her in an orphanage. And she's just standing behind him. And again, finally here's something like this. Oh, it's happened to her so many times in this movie. And at least at this point, she runs away.
Yeah.
But then she's in a cage immediately. Like, there's, again, another scene missing. I mean, we find out that, I guess, Carface does capture her and put her in this cage. Yeah, it's just so abrupt, and it's so fast, and everything is just happening so quickly at the end of this movie.
But you hear her, when she leaves, you hear her scream, and you hear him go, like, Anne-Marie. And you guess that Scarface was just waiting right there to just like... Oh,
I just thought she was sad and running away and crying. But
no, she does go to run away, but I think Carface, who had just taken out Itchy, was pretty nearby. And so when she ran, he was waiting for her.
He also burned their casino down.
Oh, yeah. That's another thing that Itchy points out. Like, look at this.
Carface seems to be just using her as bait. I don't think he wants to kill her because she can communicate with animals.
Yeah.
But the bait works because Charlie shows up and he tries to fight off a bunch of other dogs, and they end up tying him to an anchor, and they're going to drown him. But then that crocodile shows up.
Yeah, because he howls again. Charlie makes his noise, and the crocodile is just in love with this magical juiciness that is Burt Reynolds' howl or his singing voice. And he shows up.
Magical juiciness that is Burt Reynolds.
Carface is shocked to see. His face is like when he sees that this alligator has come for him.
I think the alligator eats him. I think the alligator eats him. You think that's how he dies?
I think that's how he goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So then, in this whole kerfuffle, the Anne-Marie falls into the water, and she starts to
somehow the
sink.
water's on fire. There's been
my God, you're right. Barrels of oil dumped down onto the water. It bursts into flames because the oil dumps onto like a generator. There's sparks. There's fire. It's super crazy.
Yeah.
Charlie, it's like he doesn't have two paws. It's very bizarre that his watch that he needs to, live keeps falling. But when he grabs the watch, then she slips out of his hands. So he has to make a choice between the watch and her. And of course, this movie's ending in 2.5 minutes. So he finally does something good for this girl and saves her life. His watch sinks to the bottom, and stops ticking. And in the meantime, he has told Itchy to go find this family. To be like, hey, here's their address. Go find these people. And Itchy's running through New Orleans, rounding up every dog he can find. I do like when she's like, what's all that noise? And he opens the door.
And it's just all
like
these
8
dogs.
million dogs.
Yeah, all of New Orleans dogs just came down to let this family know Anne Marie's in trouble and she's going to be coming back.
Yes.
Anne Marie, next thing we see is Anne Marie's asleep in this giant bed in this beautiful home.
It is strange how we don't see the family find her. We don't see them pick her up. We don't see anybody quote unquote save her. It is smash cut. She's in bed. Itchy's laying next to her in this bed. They're both totally asleep. And this is when we see a crazy demon appear in the neighborhood.
Yeah, above the whole neighborhood. Yep.
The skies turn red and it's red mist. And Charlie comes in on this red mist and is like, sorry I was so terrible to you through this entire ordeal. And because I guess he apologizes, the heavenly dog comes back and just like destroys the red mist.
Yeah. The heavenly dog comes back as like this blue orb.
The pink heavenly dog is now a blue orb. And she's like, say goodbye, Charlie. You got to come back with me. And he does say goodbye. She wakes up. She wakes up at this point. He's kind of out of it. It's a weird thing where you see a lot of reflections of him in her eyes.
Oh, yeah.
He tells her to take care of Itchy. He doesn't have anybody anymore. And he's got to go. And she's like, will I see you? And he's like, oh, yeah, of course you'll see me. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
And that's it. She falls back to sleep. And he goes back up to heaven.
That's where all dogs.
In a post-credit sequence, we see that Carface is there.
Yes, yeah. And then with a little ha-ha at the end, Carface is there, but he too gets his watch and sets it back so he can go back to Earth. And Charlie goes, don't worry, he'll be back.
Yep.
Because all dogs just end up in heaven.
Womp, womp. I assume he's there. He's going back to take vengeance on that crocodile, I guess.
Maybe.
And that is it. That's
all dogs go to heaven.
All dogs go to heaven. So, Jamie, this was your birthday pick. And I know sometimes we choose birthday things, because we liked them when we were younger. Or it's just something you have an interest in watching. But did you enjoy this upon this watch?
When I was younger, like this was a fun movie to me. I obviously, if I did a little self-reflection, I have a thing about orphans in movies because I loved the movie Annie and I loved even The Journey of Natty Gant. She's kind of an orphan. And I have this, I obviously, growing up the way I did, there's a affinity for
as an orphan yourself.
Yes, exactly. No.
Was
Mafia
Princess Caraboo
movies.
An orphan?
I think she was. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
If it has anything to do with like mafia or like the way they kind of ran these casinos, I have some kind of connection to that. So as a kid, I really liked it. I remember this and The Little Mermaid, I think, came out around the same time. And although I liked The Little Mermaid, like Anne Marie wasn't a princess. She was just a special girl that could talk to dogs. And even at the time, I remember liking Itchy better. But watching the movie now, though, I liked it because of the nostalgia it brought back. I liked it, made me smile because of the scene, the scenes I remembered and the little girl But I definitely couldn't help but take away the fact that these dogs are very unsavory characters. And a lot of things that happen in this movie, it's not a feel-good kind of cartoon that you maybe... Like I said, I told you to watch it with your kids, but after I watched it, I was like, I hope he didn't watch that with his children.
I tried to watch it with my youngest, and she's 4, and it just didn't keep her interest. She was not into it.
Because it's got too many adult themes, I think.
There's too much weird stuff happening.
Yeah, where you're
movie.
like, what? I think I also liked Burt Reynolds' voice, maybe? I don't know. Maybe not his singing voice. But obviously, you didn't have a childhood connection to it. So how do you feel about it?
I did not like this. No, I really didn't enjoy it. I
No.
didn't think it was. I didn't think the voice acting was very good. Like I said, the themes were really weird. The animation wasn't. I mean, it's very Don Bluthy, so if you're into that, I get it. But I don't. The one thing that I found out that was really interesting is this came out the same week as The Little Mermaid.
Ah.
Like the balls on Don Bluth to be like, you know what? Whatever. Let's see what
Right.
happens. And this got buried
Well, you would.
by The Little Mermaid.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it still made money. I think it was made for 13 million and it made over 20.
Mm.
And when I found that out, I was like, wow. I mean, just comparing this to The Little Mermaid, there's no
Oh, no.
comparison. Like
yeah.
the Little Mermaid seems to be way more modern than this, way cleaner than this. And like I said, my 4-year-old could not sit through this. She loves The Little Mermaid.
Of course she
Like,
does. Yeah, I was just going to say, Little Mermaid's a lot more kid-friendly.
yes.
And just
Yeah, because I think
more-
if I had seen this as a kid, I'm not saying I wouldn't have liked it. I probably would have, but I probably wouldn't exactly know what's going on. I mean,
Yeah.
other than the storyline of the dog dying and coming back, all these little things about gambling. and
See,
all
but
that,
I grew up going to the horse track with my dad.
Uh-huh.
My grandpa, we used to joke about my one grandpa, my father's dad, would be at OTB, the off-track betting place, like second. Like, I think there was like a connection to like a familial connection there.
This movie is right up your alley. Like
Yeah.
for a little kid, Jamie, I understand.
Chubby
Yeah.
little 11-year-old Jamie was like, oh yeah, yeah, I was into it. Yeah. Yeah.
And chubby little 41-year-old me was like, that pizza looks great.
I know, you're like, the best animation was the
Like,
pizza.
all right. Well, I'll give you my recommendation first because
Okay.
this is one of the easiest recommendations I ever had because I just watched this movie.
Okay.
And it's a movie from, as you know, I like to give old movies. It's a
Oh,
movie
yeah.
from 1947
Excellent.
called I Walk Alone. And the reason this movie was so easy is this movie is about Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas, and they are moonshine runners, like they're booze runners during Prohibition. One of them goes to jail, takes the fall for the other one, gets out of jail, and the other guy, in the meantime, has started a big nightclub and is making tons of money.
Well,
And
there you go.
Burt
Okay.
Lancaster goes in and wants half of it, and Kirk Douglas freezes him out. And I was like, holy shit, this is just the plot of that old movie that
Yeah.
I just saw.
Except
So,
they put
yeah.
dogs in it. All right.
Except they put dogs in it, yes.
Great
Yeah.
recommendation
Yeah,
then.
I Walk
well
Alone,
done.
and it's a really, really great old, like, gangster noir movie, but it is the plot of All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Interesting. All right. Well, one of the reasons I picked this movie besides birthday pick, as we mentioned, was because my dog had passed. So I was hoping to get a little more like, ooh, warm, fuzzy, my dog passed feelings from this movie. And you don't. This isn't a movie to console you if you've lost
No.
a dog.
No. I mean, it's not going to make you sad either. It's just going to
No, it's
confuse
just
you.
going to make you feel maybe
Right.
sad for orphans. I don't know. But so
yeah,
I
you heartless monsters. If you already don't feel sad for orphans,
right, if you
need
needed
an
this movie.
excuse.
On my list, actually, it's for this weekend. I have a list of like dog movies that I might want to watch and just sit in my
okay.
sadness. And Frankenweenie, the Tim Burton movie from 2012, where it's just a fun. The kid's
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
dog dies and he
I like it. I
Frankensteins
enjoy
it
it.
together. It's fun. And
Yeah.
if you have recently had a doggy loss in your life, I do not recommend All Dogs Go to Heaven. But maybe I'd recommend Frankenweenie.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what it is about those recommendations that are so funny, and I shouldn't laugh at movies you would recommend after your dog dying. You would think Old Yeller, maybe? Nope, Frankenweenie. Let's just, you know what makes you think about your dog and very nostalgic is when like monster bats come out.
Hey, I've got an out. That's it.
That's it. Hey,
That's
it's a
it.
good recommendation.
Hey,
it's a
thanks.
good movie.
Yeah.
So if people have not seen Frankenweenie, I do recommend you guys see that too. It's
Yeah, it's a good one.
All right,
All
so
right.
Jamie, we are moving into February. This is not necessarily intentional, but it did work out this way. February, as you may or may not know, is Black History Month.
I knew
and
that.
as we were just telling our patrons, on February 1st, Under the Cherry Moon is going up for all patrons.
That's right.
And the next movie we're going to do, 2 weeks from today, we are going to close out a series because we are going to do Breakin'
Our
2
break-in.
Electric Boogaloo.
You've been waiting for this. Hardcore, I know.
I really had. There's something like after we did that and I knew there was a sequel, I'm kind of shocked it took us probably 3 years, 2.5 years to get
Too
to
long.
the second one.
Too long, in your opinion.
Way too long. I can think of very few characters that I loved as much as Boogaloo Shrimp. I hope he dances with a broom. Was it that he danced with a broom out
Yeah,
in the
he
parking
did.
lot?
He
in
did.
that?
It was trippy too, the way he did it.
Yes.
He had some moves, as they
It's like
should.
it was, yeah. So that's what we're gonna do next, and that'll
Excellent.
be 2 weeks from today. Breakin' 2. So that's what we're gonna do next. Again, Patreon. Under the Cherry Moon.
Get ready for it.
Yes.
It's hot.
Get ready. And we will
Yeah.
see some of you in 1 week, and we will see the rest of you
I'm
in
gonna
2
tell you
weeks.
something about Sherry.
See you then.
What's mine is yours. What's yours is mine. The more you share, the more the sun will shine. What's mine is yours. What's your... Hey! Will you put that pizza... Look! Stop it! This is not right. You shouldn't be fighting. Listen to Uncle Charlie. Whether you're the boss or someone's pet, the more you give, the more you're gonna get. That's it. That's it. Hey, I'm proud of you. What's mine is yours. What's yours is mine. The more you share, the more the sun.
All dogs go to heaven, but the majority of the dogs we meet are creeps. Just terrible.
I know.
Like, we just meet drunken, gambling criminals until we meet Lonnie Anderson. Like, she's the first good dog we meet in this movie.
She's just kind of a slutty dog too. She just has a bunch of puppies that she has to take care
A
of.
lot of puppies. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this movie.